All right, episode 2 of the Win the Third podcast here. First one went pretty well. I feel like we did a good job if we don't pat ourselves on the back too much.
Yeah, not too bad.
So this week we'll take a look back at last weekend. 2 big dual meets. We'll look ahead at this weekend coming up. A little bit easier for the Buckeyes this weekend coming up, but still some tough matches. Nebraska's got some hammers there. And then we'll go to the mailbag, so to speak. I put it out last night on social media. Got like 4 or 5 questions for people, and we'll interact with the listeners a little bit. So let's start off by talking about last weekend. We're talking about here before the show.
Yeah.
Friday, not really what you wanted out of Friday. Kind of just held serve. Didn't overperform really in any matches. I mean, maybe you could look at the Sasso matches as being kind of the highlight there. But, what we talked about with Decatur just didn't pan out. Ethan Smith, I thought, had a good match, but, I mean, was just kind of overmatched, overpowered a little bit. And just no one had that surprise moment. Rocky in a close one, in the last second takedown in a match. It's funny, I was texting with some guys. I think next month Rocky wins that match. You get him a little bit more mat time, you get a little bit more experience. I think next month that's a match he can win in the last second instead of losing the last second. But just overall, kind of give the just the high level view of Friday for us.
Well, kind of like you said, kind of held par on what we thought, and like I said on last week about Sammy, if he can hand fight well and stay in the fight the whole time, he's gonna have a good chance, and he did that. He was in great shape, and he attacks his defense. So while it looks like the other guy is shooting and Sammy is Iowa fans thought he was stalling, of course, but Sammy's moving forward. He's moving forward, hand fighting hard. He's not getting pushed out of bounds. And the other guy's shooting, which is definitely an area where Sammy needs to get better at and do more of. But Sammy's attacking his defense, and his defense is just so strong. So that was fun, and I think some of our guys, especially our middleweights, we were close. I think Ethan wrestled really well in spurts, but he would give up 2, 3 takedowns, then get 1. Give up 2, 3, then get 1. So he did a good job of limiting Marinelli's kind of his offense and his, he could have really blown the roof off the place.
Yeah.
And so he did that, and he did a good job of ending on top. So just kind of being ready, more ready right away, and I think that's a different match. And then with Caleb and
Caleb
Rocky,
just kind of seems stifled, like he just didn't have the confidence. We talked about him and what has made him better this year, and the confidence making him better. It seemed like he just wasn't at that level where he had that confidence in that match to go fire off shots and try to get in and get his leg attacks going.
I mean, Caleb and Rocky, it's a very similar thing. Shoot more.
Yeah.
Shoot more, be all over the place, and if they can recover from their shots and attack a lot in the match, they're going to have a chance. And I think that Rocky has a pretty good conversion rate.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, but also a bad thing. That means he's probably not shooting enough.
Yeah.
If he's shooting 3 times, 2 times, and getting all of them, then he should be shooting 6, 7 times. So, I think that kind of happened with Rocky and really Caleb in the Minnesota match as well. So just more attacks on them, but I think their stars, Iowa stars, did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, Decatur had the first takedown, and we thought he could. Just because of the way that DeSanto lunges at him right away. But then he fell off. And if anyone's ever fallen off a cliff, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
hard to come back.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, and it just, that was the epitome of, just getting broken down and just not knowing what to do and just kind of being. I mean, it's a freshman thing though. I mean, he's a young guy. He's in a match that big and against a guy who is going to be attacking all the time. That's got to be hard to be in that environment. As a young guy to try to compete and put your best foot forward. You come out, you get the first takedown, and then it doesn't really matter. It's one of those things where you've got to be prepared for that situation almost, and it didn't seem like he might have thought he was prepared, but he really wasn't when the thing started happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mind thing. DeSanto didn't even physically beat him up. He was scoring fast takedowns. So the I think Jordan's mind kind of just shut off, and he obviously lost control of what he wanted to do. So just getting his mind stronger and tougher, because as an athlete, as a wrestler, he's really good.
Yeah.
But again, if you fall off, whether it's physically or mentally, it's hard.
It's hard to hit the reset. There's no halftime. There's no break like in football. You don't like sit down and relax, have a Gatorade, think about the adjustments you got to make.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen there. So again, tough environment, tough for Ohio State. Iowa's got another big one with Penn State coming up on Friday night. What was encouraging though, I think that was awesome to see, and it came out I think yesterday. Two of the highest rated wrestling duels of all time were this weekend with Ohio State, Iowa, Ohio State, Minnesota. I think that Iowa, Penn State one's going to be huge as well. The sport just seems to be gaining more and more momentum all the time.
Yeah, I think that it's becoming more popular. There's more stars in the sport now than there was, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's cool, and it's just more visible. Wrestling is very visible now, and you could go to a bar and Big Ten Network's on, wrestling's on. So it's pretty cool. And I think that for the most part, the wrestlers are trying to score points, which will improve the product. So
rough one, get the day off Saturday, come back, Minnesota, another big match, quality team, a lot of firepower on that Minnesota squad. But Ohio State came out and looked like they were really prepared, really wanted, to kind of get that taste out of their mouth from Friday night.
Yeah, I felt really good about Minnesota match. They're I think ranked fifth in the country.
It's 4 and 5, yeah.
And I think we won 6 of the 10 matches, and we could have won more.
Yeah.
57 Rockies match. Those are matches that we could have won.
Yeah.
And I think it was good for just kind of. And even Malik has beaten McKee before.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan, wrestling a guy who he's ranked a lot higher than, and a lot of people expected him to win. But it's good. It's good to win when you have a very bad match, and then even though you're expected to win, it's still tough to do.
Yeah, well, it's got to be. It's mentally you got to come back from that loss.
Yeah,
it's got to be tough. There were some big wins. Some big points too. That Gas Tank Gary holding Stevenson to just a major. If a couple of those swing matches go the other way, that's a huge point for a save for him. A guy who was a national finalist last year. Projected to be he's the number 1 ranked guy this year. All the world and freestyle accolades for the big guy. But let's again talk about kind of the marquee match. Sammy Sasso again, wrestled a little bit. Watching it, kind of the same style as he did against Lugo, and I think kind of watching some of the comments on some of the threads because I was watching it on my phone. You can kind of see people comment. His style, I guess, is kind of frustrating for fans because he doesn't attack. He's not a guy who's going to come out and try to score an attack. And it seems like when he does, it's a lot of kind of the upper body with the inside trips and things like that. But you're right, he's so good defensively, so hard to score on. We've seen him in so many situations where it just looks like he is dead to rights. There's no way he's getting out of this. And he not only gets out of it, but then like he did here in the Minnesota match, scores the winning takedown.
Yeah, like I said with the Iowa match, he's attacking the whole time with his hand fight. So, yes, he's not shooting as much, and it's something where, unfortunately, not every wrestler is a 10 out of 10 right away at every position. So Sammy's got to get better at shooting. He knows that. But he's attacking the hand fight, running back to the center. He was in better shape that match. He was all over him. He won the hand fight, and by the end of the match, it was the leg defense that broke him. You could just you could tell the body language. Watch the match, watch the body language. Sammy's moving his feet, hands are all over him, and while not being able to get to his attacks, he's confident the whole time. And I believed it, man. Just especially from the beginning. I felt good about Sammy, just the way he was moving. You can just tell, if someone's face is all white and they look like they're juiced, then they're probably juiced.
Yeah.
and Sammy looked opposite of that. Sammy eyes were big, ready to wrestle.
Yeah.
So, I felt good. I felt good about that one. That was good for Sammy. He's beaten Sammy 3 times in a row. So Sammy beat him, I think, 3 times in a row. And then Brayton has beaten Sammy. He beat him in freestyle twice, and then he beat him in Vegas. And Vegas, I think Sammy kind of kind of held off on his energy a little bit, worried that he was going to get tired. He got tired in the spring when they lost. And then he had the energy at the end, just didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
And then in this match, he pushed the pace the whole time. And while he couldn't score, till the very end, he got him tired, which made that last leg attack defense a lot easier for him to score.
Bumped up to number 2 now, and people are going to be looking for ways to beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously now once you move up into that upper echelon of the top 3 guys, you got a big target on your back, and people are going to be watching those matches and trying to dissect, okay, when we see him in March here, whether it's at Rutgers at the Big Ten or Minneapolis, how do you beat Sammy Sasso? What's the formula for that? And then what does Sammy have to do to improve on his style, making sure guys don't get that?
Yeah, I mean, Sammy just needs to just get to his offense more. He's doing a good job with his upper body stuff. If he can get an offensive attack, a really good one, it's gonna be trouble.
Yeah.
For the rest of the country, and just getting his defense a little bit better. I love his defense, but it is scary if you give the guy 6 chances.
Yeah.
I mean, what if he gets 1?
Yeah.
So I think just improving kind of some baseline stuff. But he's doing a good job, man. He's just so willing to learn and work hard. And the attitude is so positive. And then it kind of gets everybody, so positive and excited to wrestle. So it's been cool to see the transformation the last month or so.
We didn't really talk about the stars with Luke Pletcher and Colin Moore, but 2 big matches for Luke, and Luke performed just like you thought he would. Same thing with Colin. Colin came out and handled business. I mean, those guys. Luke, I feel like this weekend was a chance for him to kind of show that he's human almost against some quality opponents, and he really dominated. I mean, both matches just came out and dominated.
Yeah, it was. He got taken down right away, in the Minnesota match. And against McKee is good. I mean, I wrestled McKee a few years ago when he was younger in freestyle camps and stuff, and he's strong. He's very good. And Luke, could pretty much score when he wanted, do what he wanted. He got taken down. It didn't phase him. So Luke's wrestling in a way, and I think I mentioned this last week, in a way that he wrestles in practice, which is what you dream of.
Yeah.
The freedom, you don't care if you get taken down, you just keep wrestling. So, man, he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's scoring points, and he's just so physical when he wrestles. It just looks like it hurts.
It does. I mean, his mat returns.
His hand fighting, and his leg attack. It just looks like it hurts, man. Wow. He's doing well.
We'll take a break here and get a little note from our sponsors, Financial Providence Group. You can visit them at fpgroup.us. They're always looking for new agents to hire across 6 different states, but especially here in Central Ohio, you can go to fpgroup.us, whether you're looking for final expense coverage for your loved ones or you're looking for a new career. Visit fpgroup.us, and the guys at Financial Providence Group will get you taken care of. Looking ahead to this weekend, you got the matchup against Maryland. Maryland coming in 2-11, 0-5 in the Big Ten. I think maybe 1 ranked wrestler on their squad coming into this. As Ohio State, you're the heavy favorite, and you're going to have these duels. You're going to have these matches where everyone's favorite, and you've got to just go out and perform. Talk about just the mentality coming into this, where you're expected to win, and you're expected to perform well. How do you do that here in the midst of this grind of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have, like you said, one ranked guy. Their 57 has been in and out of the rankings. But with a team like Maryland, who you're heavily favored against, I think it's important to be ready for the fight, because for them, right, maybe they haven't had a good year, but they beat a Buckeye. Right?
Yeah.
They wrestle well here. It kind of changes everything for them. So I think just be ready for the fight and, be excited. You're at home. You're favored. Try to go out, score some points, get a big win, and help it kind of propel you. I mean, the Big Ten season is so hard. So if you have a chance to wrestle someone who's tough but not ranked, take advantage of it, and really try to get it going.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they come out. That one's at home, so you can get to that one Friday night, tomorrow night, or maybe it's tonight I think this comes out on Friday morning.
Yeah.
So tonight, head out to the Cavelli Center. Great. If you've not been there yet, beautiful arena, beautiful place to watch a match.
Yeah,
They do a great
job. It might be sold out or very close. So
yeah.
I know this week, and then I think next week we have Northwestern at home, and then the last two of the year. So it's gonna be. I think the last two. I think the fans have seen what we've done so far and seen the crowds. So I think they're gonna be sold out.
Yeah, it's a great place to go watch a match at, and then you gotta travel on Saturday, get to Nebraska. Nebraska's number 6 again. Top 10 matchup. I mean, this is a team who, you never hear much about Nebraska. I think they get lost in the talk of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You've got Ohio State, you got Penn State, you got Iowa. Michigan in the last year has been good, and Minnesota's always up there. Nebraska gets lost in the shuffle, I think, a lot of times, but they've got a lot of quality guys on their team, and that's going to be a tough one for Ohio State. Matchup-wise, there's some really good ones.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska probably should have beaten Penn State. I mean, they're probably top 3, top 4, 74.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Hall pinned them. I think late in the match. I could be wrong with that, but he pinned them, which is Mark Hall's obviously awesome, but he hasn't pinned them in the past. He's won controlled decisions or majors. So, Nebraska could have and probably should have beaten Penn State. So I think this is a match where we have to be on. I mean, lots and lots of big matches, and for Caleb in the middleweights, it seems as if they're kind of always in these big matches. So I think 65, 74, 84, huge matches for our guys, for the team, but also, get their rankings up, get their confidence up, because they're real close, I think, match us in the rankings. And then,
I mean, this is one that could, I mean, if you get a couple flipped on you early, this could be big. I mean, and this could make Ohio State worry. I mean, 25, probably a toss-up match with Malik and Alex Thomason, the redshirt freshman there. Jordan Decatur, depending on who Nebraska puts out. They do have Ridge Lovett, who's the number 14th ranked guy. He's a true freshman, though. He's 9-6 on the year. So that could be a little bit of a toss-up match.
Yeah, he's had a decent year. He's good on top. He wrestled DeSanto hard. I don't think DeSanto majored him. I think he rode out DeSanto one of the periods. So he's good. He's 9-6, but he's tough. Jordan's got to be ready to go.
And I mean, 33 is such a difficult weight class too. I mean, especially in the Big Ten. 41, you got Luke, but Chad Redd. I mean, a guy who's been around for a long time and has wrestled at a very high level for a long time.
Yeah, Luke just beat him. I mean, for the first time. I mean, he beat Luke a couple times in high school, and Luke beat him at Vegas. So he's good. He's very dangerous. Awesome cradles. Luke controlled the match last time, but again, when you're wrestling someone dangerous, it's always a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, Red kind of is in that mold of, I mean, not to the level of, but the Nebraska, the Jordan Burroughs. I mean, that kind of explosive wrestler where he comes out and he can really physically take over a match. 49. You look at what Sammy's got. He's got number 15th ranked guy. Redshirt senior, a lot of experience again. This is a match where again, talk about a little bit of the mentality of Sammy. You've had 2 big wins. You're probably going to get a nice win on Friday night against Maryland if you perform well. I guess the ability or the chance that you have to be prepared to not rest on your laurels and not hear all the great things that people are saying about you because you got a tough match on Sunday. Yeah,
I mean, I think Sammy knows that if he doesn't get to his offense, it could be, again, the other guy's in on his leg, 1 takedown match. So I think for Sammy, this is a guy that is a tough guy, probably a second round / quarterfinal matchup at Nationals. So you got to go out and score takedowns.
Yeah.
Score takedowns, try to score points. And, you win a couple close ones in a row, and you start to feel like, I'm just going to win them all like that. Yeah. That's hard. It's stressful. So
it's stressful for the fans, too. You don't want to win guys at the last second every time.
It's a great guy who's going to be tough for him. And I think that, Sammy can go out and get some takedowns and build a little lead.
57, probably a toss-up match for Eli there with Peyton Robb. He's 13-4, redshirt freshman. Mm-hmm. Then you kind of get into the real meat of Nebraska's lineup, where, like I said, if you kind of get 1 or 2 of those matches early that flips on you, then the pressure's on for Ohio State.
Right.
65, you've got Isaiah White, Ethan Smith. Ethan is a guy who we talk about a lot of times. You could see the way Ethan wrestles, I feel like, as a fan, you can see him being a quarterfinal, maybe getting on the podium guy, or you can see him being a 2-2 guy. Like there's just, I mean, I feel like there's there's got to be something that takes him just to that. He's on the precipice, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, he's one takedown away. I mean, he wrestled Isaiah White in Vegas and had the takedown, didn't score it. They went to overtime, and then Isaiah White took him down to beat him. So one takedown away. I mean, Isaiah White is really, really good. Get the takedown, can wrestle a good match, and I think he can get the upset win. So I think just staying on his offense, and he's been doing a good job of it. And just keep wrestling. I think sometimes you get caught up, if you get taken down, like, oh, here it is, I can't take him down twice.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know when the guy's going to quit.
Yeah.
You don't know, what attack will do it for him. So I think just staying on the offense, I feel this is a great opportunity for Ethan to pull an upset.
74. Caleb Romero, these are the matches I feel like he has won this year that he wasn't winning last year.
Oh, for sure.
He still, I think, struggles against those top 3-4 level opponents. But when he gets into kind of those guys around his ranking and his skill level, that's, I feel, where like he's made the switch this year and he's able to win those matches. He's got one here. He's got number 6, Mickey Labreo. Again, this is a match where at home, you got to feel like Caleb's going to want to try to maybe up his game a little bit here.
Yeah, he has same thing as Ethan. Lost to him. I think he had the takedown in Vegas, didn't get it, and Labriola won either in overtime or at the end of the third. So same thing. If he gets the takedown, it's obviously changes a lot. So I think we'll see. It's been since the beginning of December. Now it's going to be the beginning of February. See how much they've grown. See if he can get to his offense early and score.
Yeah. Rocky got another tough one. Taylor Vance, been around for a while. He was a guy who kind of, watching him last year, struggled a little bit. Had to wrestle Miles a couple times, and Miles was able to dominate him pretty well. But he's had some big matches this year. He's won. He's lost some matches that he shouldn't have lost this year. So I think this is again another winnable match for Rocky. And I think when you look at Rocky, and we talked about it last week, the more time he's on the mat, the better he's going to be. And I think, as his season progresses, these are the kind of matches you expect him to be in and pull off some upsets in.
Yeah, I keep saying this, and it's kind of like if you look at the same thing and you see two different perspectives, right? So you wrestle the Big Ten schedule, and these guys, they have all these good opportunities. And you could look at it the other way, like, oh, man, I have another tough guy. But the way I see it is our guys are learning. Our guys aren't, we have a few number ones and top guys, but a lot of our guys are middle, ready to break through. Mm-hmm. And our guys, for me, and the way I see it is that they just have a great opportunity. I mean, Benz is very good. He's a guy you need to beat if you're going to, kind of break through.
Yeah.
And, I think he's someone who's beatable. I think he got turned last week. Rocky's pretty good on top. So this is a match where if Rocky wants to say, hey, I'm ready to fight for high All-American this year, he's got to go out. And
these are the matches he's got to win. 97 Colin, he's looked great all year. Number 10 Eric Smith though, for him. I mean, how do you slow down Colin Moore? I mean, if you're the opponent, what do you look at with Colin and try to say, okay, this is what I can do to try to win this match? I mean, you go back to kind of the matches that Colin has lost over the last couple of years, whether it was to Kyle in the 2 years ago in the NCAAs where he lost to him twice. He kind of got hit with that head and arm with the throw. I mean, Bo Nickel he was able to take Bo down, but Bo just, a little bit too good, especially in the top position. If you're an opponent of Colin Moore, what are you looking at to try to break through?
Yeah, I think Colin just shoots so much. I think the Arizona State kid does a good job of when Colin, kind of overexerts himself, getting an easy reattack. Mm-hmm. So I think that's, probably one strategy. Colin's pretty good on bottom, so it's hard to ride him. I would say, I think the matches he got thrown were, kind of maybe an anomaly, maybe, something that probably it's hard to replicate. But, yeah, I think just it's tough. Colin attacks like crazy. If you can stop his attacks, of course, then you're going to have a good chance. But, Colin's getting to the point now where he's in good shape, so for him, it's not mattering. It's not mattering how many times you stop it.
Yeah.
If you stop it 10 times, you get to 11.
Yeah.
So, which is makes it really, really tough to wrestle.
Gas Tank Gary, I think he's got a winnable match here.
Yeah.
I think that he's got a winnable match against either Jensen or Christian Lance. Jensen has been the starter. I think he was the starter all last year.
Mm-hmm.
Lance has come in and taken some of those reps away from him. But this is a match where, I think obviously Gary kind of struggles on the guys who are really athletic, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that can get in on leg attacks and that can finish. But this, to me, sets up for a typical Gas Tank Gary match where, it's a hand-fighting match. He's going to try to wear the guy down and try to get a score late in the third to win the match.
Yeah. Gary keeps getting better. And he wrestled, Gable and some of these guys who are ranked really high. And the kind of the running thing is because Gas Tank Gary is kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
So the opposite is the old Gas Tank ran out of gas.
Yeah.
But that's honestly it's just words. It's not true.
Yeah.
Because he didn't run out of gas. Gable Stevenson's.
Yeah.
If Gable Stevenson's 700 points better and he won by 11, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Gary's not running out of gas.
That's not the issue. That's not why he's losing. He's not losing because he's tired.
So he's staying tough in there, and I think that he keeps building his confidence, and he keeps, just working with Tervel and some of our big guys, and he's getting better. So I think Gary. I feel excited about every Gary match. I think that he can, because the heavyweights guys, what if they get tired? They have a higher chance of getting tired. Maybe than a smaller guy, but it's not always true. A lot of small guys get tired. I got tired a lot. So
yeah.
But Gary just puts a lot of pressure on you, and when you know the guy is in good shape, and you know that you're gonna get tired, it creates fear. If I wrestled somebody who was great, I wrestled guys from Minnesota, and I knew that they were hard to score on, in great shape, and I always got tired. I was like, gosh, man. I'm gonna get tired, and then when you think about getting tired before, you get tired.
Yeah,
and it's kind of it's tough. So
we need the mystique of Gas Tank Gary to continue.
Yeah, well, the mystique. I think the mystique's there, and now he's backing it up. He's wrestling hard, even in his matches he's losing. I mean, he almost got the takedown on the Iowa guy.
Yeah,
in the last seconds, he didn't give up any big points. He could have given up big points to Gable, but he kept shooting.
Yeah,
Gary doesn't even care about the strategy. he just wants to go out and wrestle. And he's doing a good job. So the mystique kind of carried him, and now he believes it. Yeah. Now he's become that. So it's fun to watch him.
So 2 big matches there over this weekend. Friday at the Cavelli Center again. You can come out. Probably still some tickets on sale. You can probably still find some standing room only tickets. It's a great place again to watch. That'll be Maryland, and then you've got Nebraska on Sunday. And we'll take another quick break here and thank our sponsor, Wrestled Away, the Lee Kemp story. You can find that on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, any place that you can download video on demand. Lee Kemp, an incredible story of perseverance. Story, one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, and his rise and fall and rise again. Just a phenomenal story, and you can catch that again on anywhere you can find video on demand. So here's a little bit of a new wrinkle here, episode 2, going to the mailbag now. Yeah. And I just put this out there yesterday on some social media, and we got some questions that came back. First one comes from Buckeyes U.S. Air Force. And I've never heard of this before. I mean, again, I'm old. The last time I wrestled, has been a long time ago. Do you guys do King of the Ring? Stand in the middle and fight off guys trying to push you out?
No.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Not really. No. Sometimes we'll have one guy in the middle, kind of hand fighting, and different guys.
And then roll guys through just so kind of to try to get them tired.
But
a little
not
bit.
King of the Ring.
No. I feel like that's a football question. Like you kind of beat guys up there. I don't know what. Hopefully your coach isn't teaching you that, because that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
We got a question here. Let's see. I feel like this is right up your alley. My 6-year-old son is a first-year wrestler who is absolutely enjoying himself during the first season. 2 questions. 1, what can I do to keep it fun for him? And I think this is a question that a lot of parents have, especially when guys start at young ages.
Yeah.
How do you fight the burnout of if you're wrestling constantly all that time?
Yeah. I think having no pressure and no expectations. I think it's stressful for kids when the parents or the coach is yelling at them for not doing well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, your son's 6.
They're 6.
Let's just let him have
So
a good time.
yeah, in my club, I just tell them if they get taken down, if they get beat, just don't worry about it. I would say I'm not gonna yell at you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want somebody to yell at you, then you're in the wrong club. I'm not gonna yell at like 6-year-old kid for getting taken down. I want you to be a good sportsman. I want you to shake hands before and after the match. I want you to to be thankful and be grateful for what you're doing, but I'm not gonna get mad at you for losing and getting taken down. So yeah, just trying to keep it relaxed.
Assuming you would recommend camps, and obviously you have one, and additional training, how do I recognize the best level of training for him without trying to burn him out? And obviously, I mean, you can give out your information.
So my club, the Stieber Elite Wrestling Academy, it's we've been doing a good job. We have lots of young kids. We have a novice group and then a kind of elite older group. And it runs from September to June, and then I know Ohio State has the father-son camp, which is very popular for beginners.
Okay.
And cool bonding experience for the parents and the kid, and get to kind of stay. I think to stay in the dorms, and it's fun. So yeah, I think that's just especially if you're in Central Ohio. I mean. My club I think is doing well, but there's lots of wrestling opportunities. So,
Frederick Posh asked the question: where does Sammy Sasso go for here? He's such a great scrambler. Where do you see him in the March?
Well, I mean, I'm optimistic, and I'm optimistic, and I believe in my guy. So I've thought that Sammy, could do well, could win the title. Right away. I thought it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Just being in the room and wrestling with them, it's hard for me to kind of fathom somebody who's better. I've wrestled, like I said, at a high enough level, so I think he can do well. But again, just gotta keep getting better. Keep getting better, get his offense going a little bit, and I feel confident. Sky's the limit for the guy.
How much do you? And this is my question. How much do you feel like that pin against Virginia Tech, and I think how you saw Sammy wrestle after that a little bit as compared to now? I mean, was there a little bit of a learning curve of like maybe just a little bit of a break in confidence of him getting caught there? Because I feel like it looks from a fan's perspective like it's a totally different guy.
Yeah. I think that's an area where I think he just kind of got caught. I mean, that guy's good. He wrestled him again, but he won pretty comfortably. I think that maybe it's hard to diagnose a problem when you get caught and pinned like that. So I think he was like, okay, gotta be ready. And I think after Vegas, he really started to kind of like, okay, need to get in better shape if I could wrestle blatantly hard the whole time. And the only thing bad about losing a match like that is like, you can't beat Cal.
Yeah.
You can't. Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make a difference. You can still accomplish all your goals. So it's if you gotten beat 10-4. Then we had to really evaluate. But a quick pin, it's the guy did a good job countering his move, and okay,
Yeah, just kind of try to wipe that away, move on. Fred also asked, what's making Caleb Romero so special this year, and what weight is Patty Gallagher projected at?
Patty, I guess I don't know. I think he's wrestling 160 right now, so probably the 57, 65 range. He's not super tall,
mm-hmm.
But he's strong. So, he's someone who's a good wrestler. So I think whatever weight he gets plugged in at, he is going to be good. And for Caleb, I think his confidence is higher. I think he's gotten better at wrestling. Kind of a good learning curve. He's just gotten better, and he believes, right? He believes in the coaches, and he believes what he's doing is correct.
Yeah.
If you believe it. Right, there's a good. Even if it's the worst thing ever, you're probably gonna get better. Now he's believing it, and what the coaches and everyone, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it helps when you're getting coached and you see the results.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think just more belief, and just confidence.
All right, Mike's got a question here. Who's your front runner for the Hodge Trophy right now?
Front runner for the Hodge. Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I've seen reports of Zahid number 1, Spencer number 2. I think because he might have more pins. It's tough, though. But for me, I think probably Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
But they both beat. It's funny. They both beat our Buckeyes.
Yeah.
in the freestyle event. So I think them probably because of pins. I think unfortunately, our guys Luke and Colin will probably be near the bottom of the list. But if they go undefeated and win the title, I don't think they'll care.
Yeah. That NCAA championship is also nice to have as a little consolation for not winning the Hodge Trophy. I mean, in my mind, I think you're right, in Spencer Lee there. But to me, Zahid, I think, is just a little more impressive to be able to bump up another weight and still be as dominant.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's, man, I was talking to one of my old football buddies, Scotty Graham, is the assistant AD out at Arizona State, and we were talking about Zahid before the Arizona State match here, and he just said it's been unbelievably impressive to watch him move up a weight and still just not even miss a beat and be as dominant as he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's been crushing everybody. So definitely those two are the top.
Last question here. With the rise of girls wrestling, where do you see Ohio in this mix? Ohio obviously made some news the other day, or a couple months ago, had the first ever dual meet for all girls dual meet. Actually, the school my parents taught at Miami East, back out in the country sticks around Piqua, Ohio. But it is the fastest growing sport in the country. I mean, obviously, kind of starting at ground zero, so anything makes it fast. But I think there's now 9 states that do girls state tournaments, and I think now they're talking about Division II, Division III, having some collegiate women wrestling. Back in the day, again, like when I was around, like that was just like it never happened. Now it's becoming more and more prolific, and it's becoming kind of a big thing.
Yeah, I think Ohio, well, if they're smart, they'll get it going. Get it going early. I think it's a great thing for wrestling. I think the future growth is going to be really, really, really high. And I know that we have in my club, in my youth club, with the novice all the way through high school, we have a bunch of girls in the club, and they're doing great. And it's like you said, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you would have never seen it, or maybe the boys and the girls kind of would have been separated when they're wrestling. But for these guys, little guys, high school kids, they don't skip a beat. So, and I think that we're gonna have a lot in the spring for the freestyle. I think Ohio will probably be following the other states here soon, and I mean, it makes the wrestling. It
expands the market.
More people. More people. It's better for kind of all avenues. So
absolutely. Cool. Well, that was the second edition there of the Win the Third podcast. Here with Logan and I. We'll be back again next week. We'll break down what happened this weekend with the Maryland and Nebraska duels, and look ahead to the week ahead and see what else we can get for you. Again, thanks to our sponsors, FP Group, the Financial Providence Group, and Wrestled Away, the Lee Kemp story, and Stieber Elite. You can go always check out all of his social media and find out how to sign up for any clubs if you want to. Thanks again, guys, and thanks to the guys at Lettermen Row for letting us do this.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and we got Buck IQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.